Let's analyze AMC stock. What's happening? What's the potential for price movement? Let's discuss volatility as well. Let's touch upon volatility smile. I'll also show my portfolio. What's happening there? What positions I've taken. Let's start with AMC stock. Over the past week, the stock has plummeted significantly. This is due to an additional stock offering. Certainly, there's nothing good about it. On one hand, the company is strengthening its business, addressing debts accumulated during the pandemic. But this adversely affects the stock, and it continues to fall, all right? We'll come back to that shortly. Let's move on to volatility and analyze what's happening. Volatility has surged significantly. During the additional stock offering, it's expected, and now it has stabilized around 100 again. Volatility smile. As we can see, the volatility smile is heavily skewed towards put options, indicating a downward trend. This suggests that investors anticipate the stock to drop further. It's probably becoming profitable to sell options at $1 as well. Let's take a look at historical and implied volatility to understand what's happening. The white line represents implied volatility, while the gray line represents historical volatility at the moment. As we can see, the white line is currently significantly higher than its historical value. Usually these volatilities converge, suggesting a play on volatility decrease. However, I wouldn't recommend doing that because the situation is quite precarious. Now, let's examine the options trading volume. There's a very high volume concentrated around the $3.5 and $3 strike price. Regarding put options, it's particularly focused on $3. We have a significant wall at the $3 strike price, making it difficult to surpass because it would trigger both call and put options expiring in the money. We shouldn't aim to break through in the near future because if we do, we might drop further. Of course, after such a point, I anticipate some rebound, but again, nothing is certain. Now let's look at my portfolio. Currently, I also have losses in AMC from sold put options. Additionally, I've restructured my positions, rolling them over to the next week. This means I'm closing options expiring this week and rolling them over to 2 or 3 weeks ahead. This is just one portfolio management strategy I'm employing. Let's review the trades I made. Overall, after all the adjustments, I have a slight loss. That is, I rolled over the 4th option without loss, a small loss on 4.5 and a slight loss. Due to commissions, the total loss for me is about $20, which I will certainly add as well. Because rolling over also costs money, there are commissions and everything else. At the moment, I'm showing you my spreadsheet, how it looks, how I manage my positions on AMC. As we can see, the blue line represents my AMC bypass strategy. The red line represents the AMC itself. I use combined strategies, options, and also buy shares of AMC. The average for me is $4.70. Let's sum up the results for the past week. Today is April 5th. In 2024, AMC currently stands at $3. I enter this figure into the table as $3, and as we can see, AMC, represented by the red line, has dropped significantly. Of course, this is related to the decline in AMC. I remind you that the experiment started with $10,000, and my goal is to outperform AMC through effective position management. Of course, the blue line, representing my strategy, also falls because AMC is falling, as I have purchased AMC shares. At the moment, my portfolio is growing by 7% thanks to fixed profit. AMC's stock has been falling since the start of the experiment by 30%, which is of course a significant drop. Currently, the portfolio stands at 36%, which is also quite substantial. As we can see, my strategy started smoothly, accounting for 9%, then 16%, 22%, 23%, and now 36%. Naturally, I could buy AMC to ensure that when the stock starts to rise, my portfolio also begins to grow. However, I have sold a lot of options, and if they are exercised, I will also buy AMC. So far, my strategy is going according to plan. Everything is good. Let's return to AMC and see what's happening. I'll remind you of my philosophy. I cannot predict price movements. I have no idea where the stock will go. My main philosophy and task are skillful position management, as I have already demonstrated. If you do not manage positions wisely, things could end very badly. Of course, I am also waiting for a rebound to close my sold options, but even if they do not recover, it's okay. I have everything under control. I also want to remind you that soon I will launch a new experiment, opening a new account from scratch, where I will thoroughly explain how I am forming it. So skillful profile management, skillful position management is the key to success. As soon as I start monetizing on YouTube, I will immediately allocate all the money to the new account, showing which stocks I buy and sell. It's going to be very interesting, so subscribe not to miss the beginning of this experiment. Regarding AMC stock, their situation is certainly bad. Also, I want to remind you that I deny any sort of short squeeze narratives that some bloggers tell you about. I believe that all bloggers who talk about short squeezes are lying to you. They do it solely to gain views, not to make money. Making $300 to $500 from a short squeeze is just unrealistic. They talk about these short squeezes all year long, and in the end, we just keep falling and falling. They show some charts, but it's all untrue and deceptive. It's time to finally face the reality that there won't be any grand short squeeze. That's my position and my understanding of the situation. I've talked about this in detail in previous videos. I advise you to watch my previous videos regarding AMC stock. There, I also discussed a lot about the strategy, positions, and everything else. Good luck to everyone.